The 2023 East Africa Clean Expo featured a powerful summit, which brought together various leading practitioners in the cleaning sector to share exceptional ideas on how to advance the agenda of rapid growth in the sector. Speakers were drawn from different organizations across the globe, and their presentations were outstanding. Here is a full recap of the two-day summit, which took place on the sides of the East Africa Clean Expo at the Sarit Center.
The summit is an excellent opportunity to discuss what is happening in our industry, and there is plenty to talk about. This year, ladies and gentlemen, we have a number of eminent speakers who will contribute to what I'm sure will be an extremely engaging and thought-provoking 2 days. This summit is enriched with display, engagement, and education. The theme is elevating standards in the cleaning industry. Fellow industry players, the aftermath of COVID-19 pandemic still cast a shadow. There is renewed focus on cleaning standards in our institutions, hotels, and our homes. This brings a recognition that to do this, we need to get back to the fundamentals. Business owners today are trying to save money, either by buying items from their cleaning business supplies leased in bulk, or investing in higher quality supplies that can be replaced less often. This initiative will see businesses survive, especially in the difficult economic times like today. We also have staffing issues today. Companies are now turning down businesses because of staffing that are becoming either unresponsible, or they are not concerned about the seriousness of the services we are supposed to offer and to our clients, or their pay is an issue that most of the businesses today are not able to handle. Some of these businesses are finding even now a new idea of introducing a better pay and retain a certain cadre of staff that can help them to meet the industry demand. Training has also become expensive today, so you have to know whether you are going to resort to in-house training to maintain your standards, or you are going to look outside to get a trainer that can also rise up with your business. Price increases, ladies and gentlemen. Rates for cleaning services are rising to help offset extra costs like labor, overhead, fuel, and other expenses. It is important to keep an eye on the market costs, raise services rates accordingly, and communicate the price increase in good time to our clients. Whether you are offering laundry services, right now everybody is saying fuel costs have gone higher, and this is becoming a challenge in maintaining the running of the laundry. So it is important for us to know that as we want to adjust our prices, it is important to inform our customers on the need to do that so that they are aware. It is key to note that as you do that, you adjust your prices. You have also to bear in mind your competitors, because competition can also gang against the niche service that you want to offer and paralyze whatever you want to offer to the market. We will never forget about the importance of technology in our cleaning world. Cleaning companies today are exploring the technology, automation, like cleaning business software, so that they get the support to manage things like quoting, scheduling, invoicing, and clients' relationship. It is important to have a pool of your loyal clients. And those loyal clients, you take care of them. Word of mouth is very powerful and contagious. They will market your business as well. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, is it worth starting a cleaning and being in the cleaning business? I say a big yes. Some of the worldwide statistics today, the global statistics, are an indicator that the cleaning business will always grow. One, the cost of the services of the home and hotel services rose 9.4% in 2021 according to JOBA. In 2021, 10% of all the cleaning jobs were contracts rather than one-off work. Cleaning industry revenue also grew 14% in 2021. The cleaning industry has also grown globally 6.6% every year, and we are included in that growth. Hotels and residential cleaning market is expected to be worth $40 billion by 2025.
With those inspiring remarks, Mr. Antipas Nyambok, who has worked tirelessly with the organizers of the East Africa Clean Expo since inception as a partner, through his chairmanship at the Heads of Housekeeping Professionals Association, HHPA, set the pace for a fruitful 2 days of the summit.
In Italy, there are people coming to us to buy machine for car cleaning, so not distributor, end user. And when you sell a machine to end user, it's different. It's not only about the price and the data sheet. The people want to see how it works. You must explain. And when they see how it works, they give you an idea. Or after 2 years, you see them in exhibition. Oh, I am very happy with the machine, but you know what? The wheels must be bigger because, okay, in the hospital the roof, the floor is smooth, but in the street is like this. So, and you develop. This is our fortune, to have also customers and user customers that give us suggestions.
Why would you, for example, go to Pietro? What problem would he be solving for you?
Okay, from his introduction, he's told us he's doing steam cleaning. So, and I'm in healthcare cleaning, whereby our key focus is on infection control. So I would go to him for green cleaning products. I want to minimize the chemicals, the load of chemicals that I'm using in my cleaning processes. So I'll go to him for steam cleaning. That will help me to provide safer services.
In your definition, what are cleaning standards?
In my definition, cleaning standard, first of all, what is a standard? A standard is a benchmark, and that is the minimum, I'll call it the minimum level that you want to achieve. You don't want to perform anything less than the standard. So a cleaning standard is to what level do we want to maintain our cleaning outcomes at a minimum. And we are allowed to go, we actually target to operate above the standard all the time.
So how do we tell that the standard has been met?
How do you tell the standard has been met? First of all, you need to define your standard. And defining it means you define it in a way that it is identifiable, it is measurable, so that you can be able to quantify to what level have I achieved my standard. And if I fell short, to what level did I fall short, and what are the specific indicators I can look at to tell me that yes, I have met my standard, I have not met the standard.
Okay. Antipas mentioned something about supply chain. I'll pass this on to Grace. How are you helping to solve the supply chain issues that were caused more by COVID and now, for example, by the increase in the weakening of the shilling and the rest?
Elevating standards, especially during after COVID, has been very key. People have become very conscious, people have become very intentional in knowing what products they're going to use, in knowing what services they're going to get from either cleaning companies and what materials they use. In my place, we are very, very key on standards. As she mentioned, that there are those parameters that you need to look at. First, doing business in Kenya, there are standards that you have to follow. There are government bodies that you have to go. Like for us, KEBS has to come to our industry. We do the samples. They go and check their parameters. Then once we are through, they give us the certification of KEBS. Without that, we cannot do any business. That is one way of keeping the standards she's talking about. Once she sees our KEBS certificate or the KEBS mark there, she knows she's dealing, or even the clients out there will know they're dealing with a legit company. Number two, the chemicals. We make sure they're not toxic. People have become very, very conscious nowadays. They even look at the ingredients, and they're very knowledgeable. They know what they want. It's not like before you just sell and spray and wait for people to buy. You have to become very intentional on what you're giving your clients out there. And you have to be purposeful, and you keep on educating. And like the gentleman at the beginning said, training. You also need to train your people to know what the clients want out there, the supply chain. And of course, pricing out there. Competition is there. We are asked, why are you more expensive, or why? There are all those things that we look into. So it's very, very important to have that. So being certified is very important. Now, the philosophy of cleaning is monitoring, measuring, and inspection. Those are the three things. You have to monitor your clients to know what they want. You have to measure. Whatever you are giving them has to be measurable, so that they see they have also value for money and value for the product that you're giving them. And also the inspection, like I've just mentioned, inspection is very important. Not just for the not just for the product, even the institute or even the company there are those standards that are met. The labor people come there to check if you're good with their people. The PPEs, the protective equipment that you use when you're doing a production, because these things are going to be consumed externally by the people out there, by the customers. So the people who we supply to have got very many questions when they want to know how your product is out there.
So when it comes to staffing, and staffing can be quite a problem, especially we're a service industry, right? So being able to deliver at a standard and consistent, to give consistent services to our customers, you've got to have the right staff who understand what we're giving to our customer, to understand that the customer comes back if we're consistent and we're reliable in how we offer our services, and to also understand what their job and their role is in providing laundry services. So even going out to get that staff, do they understand materials, for example? Do they understand how to do stain removal? Do they understand the mix of chemicals? What do those chemicals do when they use them? Do they understand how to use the machines? Are they knowledgeable? So staffing is crazy. It's difficult, but as long as you understand that you're delivering a service, and you have to be very intentional that the staff that you have know what it is that they're doing, that they're trained, they're knowledgeable, they have the experience, so that you have one time to impress upon that customer so that they come back. You have that one time, and it's very easy just to mess up on a customer. Things like, for us, laundry is very personal. You do personal clothes. They're personal to our customers. You mess up a customer's dress, you mess up their best, their Sunday best. It hurts, you know, they feel bad. So we have that one opportunity to do a good job, or that one opportunity to mess you up, and that has a ripple effect. So staffing is important for out there for other customers, for other corporate clients. Your staff matters. Choose them right, treat them right as well, and deliver.
It seems like we have a standards problem of, do we have anybody training staff who you can pick up and are ready to go day one?
Yeah, we do in our business. Yes, there is Utalii, for example, Utalii College, which does train staff on hospitality and the laundry business, right? So they're there. For us in particular, when we go out looking or we're recruiting, we do look for those training credentials. They have to have the credentials, they have to have worked in a particular laundromat. It's very interesting when you go looking for, or you're doing recruitment of laundry attendants, that's what we call them. You get a lot, like I posted an advert the other day. I got over 1,000 applicants. 1,000 applicants. I was like, oh my God, I should have gone through an HR agency. But you know what, I just decided, let me just go through, there can be 1,000 laundry people. Let me go through one by one. One person was an aeronautical engineer looking for a laundromat position, right? Another one has been working in the government. I don't know, one has been working, doing elections, electioneering committee. I'm like, oh my gosh. By the time I found one laundry person, one laundromat person, I think I found 2. So we have a problem, first of all, employment problem. People are looking for jobs. You cannot get the right person for your job, but you cannot also just employ anyone for the sake of employment.
So standards, first of all, in the definition of standard, we look at, you look at what is it that is critical to quality in what I am defining. So when you're setting the standard, you have to address what is critical to quality. And critical to quality, I mean, is it suitable for the need that you want to address? Therefore, who will determine this standard? Number one, you had my friend Pierre. He said that he listens to the customers. What does your customer want? You cannot deliver a product that is less than what they want. The other person who can define standards for you is the industry where you are operating in. There are industry standards to be met. What does your industry define? What are the minimums they have set? And then what is best practice?
Thanks a lot for that. I think we've exhausted our time. I hope the session has been informative. And just my takeaway from Grace is monitor, measure, inspect. So I think that's what we call delegation. Most of us abdicate. We do the first 2, we refuse to do the inspect part. Then we complain later when linen gets sent back 3-4 times. Thank you very much, and if you don't mind, a round of applause for my panelists.
I got a time when my infection control manager took us through a journey from where she had just started becoming a nurse, somewhere in the Rift Valley. And as she got into the career, a certain patient comes to that hospital, and the patient came in walking. And the patient was okay, but he just came for a check and all that. And within a very short time, the patient developed some things. Within a very short time, the patient was in HDU. Within a very short time, the patient had gone to the ward. And it really became like, hey, this guy came in walking. And the situation went on and went on and went on until the patient died. So this leaves us with many questions, and we'll ask ourselves, are we really keeping it clean? Are we really washing it to that extent that a patient will use it or a client will use it? Because my background is in the hotel. I've worked in the hotel. As I take this sheet and I spread it on the table, on the bed, is it really going to be a health hazard to this patient or what? So this makes me think we need to look at how we wash our linen, how we clean our linen, how we handle our linen, so that at the end of it, after I've cleaned and I've done my part, it will not be a hazard to anyone. If it's in the hotel or it's at home or at anywhere or in laundromat, as I give it out for this person to wear it, have I done my best? So what do we need to do? Number one, we need to really ensure that we are doing the very best in disinfection. We need to look at the machines and look at this. Are they really doing the proper disinfection? Number two, we need to look at the detergents that we are using. Are we really using detergents that are effective? Are they really disinfecting, or just something that I'm using? At the end of the day, it's just I've washed and the linen looks white. Because if it's a white sheet, then even if it looks white, you say it's clean. No. Can we go beyond that, what our eyes can see, and ensure that we are giving the very best in that? Then the other thing is, are we able also to control our our handling, so that we do the physical handling in a manner that will not agitate and also cause the linen to be infected and become a hazard to the people that are using. As you're in that big laundry, are we able to constantly ensure that we are getting the best? The hygiene standards are kept high. There's no kind of contamination that we are getting cross-contamination from one person to the other, so that we ensure that we are in a clean world.
There are innovative ways that are emerging to date to ensure that we sustain the momentum of cleanliness within our spaces, or even items that we clothe, items that we use in different ways, items that we sit on. And this comes out so naturally, like, for instance, just folding our hands. It's become so natural. But what are these innovative items that are coming up today that we could say, yes, this would really be sustainable in our business today? You could look at that from a user perspective, and then we will request Satyan to look at it from a manufacturing point of view.
Very biggest important aspect in business is innovation. And I will maybe just tackle it in three perspectives. Number one is that we have what we call incremental innovation. Incremental innovation should take at least 60% of your business innovations. This emanates from processes, whereby you always innovate on your processes to make sure that your processes align to your cleaning objectives. The other thing also about incremental innovation is about checking on your cost. The second innovation is what we call expansive innovation. That one is very key, especially if you want to grow your business to the next level. That now comes into science and technology. So that is where you employ technology to make sure that the technology that you have in place will always take you to the next level. So I will always check on those expansive innovations to make sure that they align with my business and also profitability. The other innovative aspect which I will always look into is what I call disruptive innovation. Disruptive innovation is totally overhauling my business model to suit my customers and ensure that all the pain points that my customers go through are being eliminated through that disruptive innovation. So do I have the right equipment? Do I have the right incremental innovation? Because I said incremental innovation should take 60%, because that is what you do on daily routine. The expansive innovation should take at least 30%. And then the remaining 10%, because the disruptive innovation, you are entering into a risk. You don't know whether you are going to have a return on investment or the customer's perspective will be eroded. So you have to make sure that all those three are very key.
Laundry needs to allow linen to survive. So it's the machines. A lot of people are mistaken. A lot of people look at machines and say, this machine can't do that, or this machine can't move as fast as that machine, etc., etc. Forgetting that the laundry machines or the equipment and the technology is all about the linen. Allow your linen to survive what the manufacturer told you it would do. So if you bought a 50-50 towel and the manufacturer told you this is a 300 wash towel, can that towel survive 300 washes? Of course, depends on many different parameters. The investment needs to happen in the training, in the standardization, in the education, mentoring, and teamwork of your team. Technology in laundry wouldn't be doable, would not be able to work without a good, motivated, happy operator.
How can companies, particularly in cleaning business, in order to sustain this tempo of ensuring that we have cleanliness that is up to the A game, be sustained? How can they leverage on technology to ensure that they also get their business right in terms of profitability as well, and also from an efficiency perspective?
How I look at it is this: there needs to be a good understanding of, one, the gains and the pain relievers that the customer is trying to sort of achieve, right? And from a seller's point of view, you need to also understand the gains and the pain relievers that your specific product is offering. And what I simply mean by that is the expectation your customer is expecting to gain from your product and the pain that it's also expecting for you to relieve, right? Then there lies the opportunity to innovate. For there also to be a balance, there has to be also, how would I say, for the market to concede and say that we put quality first, right? If the procurement team is always saying, no, we need the cheapest cost, it makes it difficult to sort of ignite that innovation. So I would just say, in short, having a balance between the two, ensuring that you are emphasizing on maintaining a certain standard, not one moment when a team leaves, whether it's the housekeeping or the procurement team leaves, the standards drop. Then as a seller, you have to go back through that vicious cycle and try and sort of explain. So, you know, there needs to be sort of a balance between the two counterparts, I would say. Over time, if you continue to remain consistent, because in cleaning it's all about that consistency, and you steer away from result-oriented way of thinking, and you have an appreciation and an appetite for the process, I think that you will slowly win the minds of the market and the consumer.
It is very, very important to sustain certain standards in the market, or even come up with certain standards in the market. This has been evolving process. Even as we look at quality, particularly of equipment that is being manufactured, plus as well, say, the detergents that are being manufactured in the industry. Now, safety comes into mind a lot more. What's your view in regard to safety of both equipment and safety of the detergents that are being used in the market space, and how do we even cross-check them internally before relying on the regulator to ensure that this is well done?
I can say that safety should be you first. So when you are developing your specifications for acquiring an equipment, first you must make sure that you take care of safety. That also includes when it comes to procuring your detergents. You have to make sure that all the chemicals are certified by Kenya Bureau of Standards and they meet the safety standards for the user. Not only the user, also including the property that you are going to use it for. So it's very important that you always ensure safety when it comes to also the chemicals. That one has always been very keen on when it comes to safety. When it comes to the equipment, you also need to make sure that safety comes first. The safety of the team that is going to operate the equipment, and also safety of the items that you are going to clean.
As the first day of the summit drew to a close, it was time to hear from the chief guest, who ably represented the Kenya Bureau of Standards.
I am both honored and privileged to join you at this third East African Clean Summit. Today we come together with a shared purpose, not only to deliberate on the future of the cleaning industry, but also to actively participate in shaping its trajectory. I'm deeply humbled to stand before you as we inaugurate this momentous event and share my thoughts on the theme, elevating standards in the cleaning industry. As we gather here, we represent not just our organizations, but we are also agents of change. And I think that is what we have been listening to the panels this morning, dedicated to building a cleaner, healthier, and more sustainable world for generations to come. The cleaning industry, which includes laundry, commercial, cleaning, car washing, housekeeping, is at critical juncture, facing challenges such as climate change and rapid urbanization. It is crucial that we collaborate to raise the bar and redefine the standards that guide our industry's future. Our united efforts have molded this year's summit into the breathtaking experience it is, and we stand poised to make future events spectacularly successful. Now, brimming with the anticipation and barely able to contain my excitement, I exuberantly declare the third East Africa Clean Expo and Summit a wondrous blend of happiness, prosperity, and steadfast dedication. Let the smiles, laughter, and flourishing collaborations unfold together. We shoulder the responsibility of making our cleaning industry even cleaner. Thank you so much, and let us embark on this exciting journey together, united in our vision for cleaner, healthier, and more sustainable future.
Day one of the summit ended emphatically on a high note, and participants couldn't wait for the second session, on day 2. A new set of speakers headlined the second day, and it was equally a remarkable session with expansive knowledge dispensation.
In this day and age, there's a machine that will do possibly almost everything you can possibly think of for you. So understanding what machines do I need when I'm starting, you might not need everything, but you do need some things, and you need to understand how they work. So that if something, as a founder, if something happens and you're told that this part of the machine is what's faulty, do you understand how your machine works? Or you just kind of bought it and placed it and then assumed that, as long as it's running. So when someone comes and tells you that a replacement for a part is going to cost you 4 times the amount, if you don't understand maybe your warranties, understanding what parts of the machine, some things have to be replaced, some things can be rewound. Not everything has to be done in a particular way based on what you're told, but you as an owner of a business have to understand what's happening with my machines. What machines do I need? As I'm scaling my business, what machines do I need to add and implement to allow me to scale? You also need to understand detergents. Different detergents for different spaces. The jig that we use in our home sometimes doesn't work when you're cleaning a hospital. Do you get me? It requires you to understand different detergents based on different strengths, the usage of them, dilution ratios of them, because most of them come concentrated, so you have to have them diluted. With particular clients, these are the things they'll ask of you. When it comes to specialized cleaning, so hospitals, when it comes to factories, when it comes to degreasing, for example, in factories or cleaning of their machines, you need to have detailed information, not only about your detergents, but how you're using them. And also understanding that information helps you train your people with regards to that information, isn't it? I know it feels like it's a lot of information that one person needs to have, but one thing I want to tell you about being in the cleaning business, you have to be a constant learner. It doesn't mean that you will know everything, and it doesn't mean that you have to start with all the knowledge in your head for you to start. It just means that you have to be willing to learn and understanding where your knowledge gaps are.
I think some of the major technological advances in any of the technology that we're putting in, and a lot of it is to do with equipment. A lot of it is looking at efficiencies from a cost perspective, which is obviously important. It's also important to have the efficiencies of the resources that you're putting into the equipment, which typically in cleaning is a lot of water, which, as everybody knows, is a huge challenge for us in this country. There is also the opportunity to speed up processes and be efficient for that, so that you obviously are using less resources, for example, power, which again is an expensive commodity for us here. So it's really important to look at the efficiencies of the equipment and how that minimizes on the resources, and how technology can do that, whether it's reduction in, for example, heating.
One thing that the emerging technologies are doing, they're here to make our life simple and easy. And that's what basically in our company, that's what we practice, wanting to make things simple and easy, especially for us as the management, and even for the rest of the members of staff, and that is now the guest room attendants, the people involved in cleaning. How do we incorporate this, all this technology to match everyone, all the stakeholders? As we all know that the technology bit the training in the technology bit has not been very much rampant in Kenya. It's just recently with the introduction of CBC that we've had the introduction of computer as a subject. And basically the simplest computer that we are basically using nowadays is your phone. And that is what our company mostly uses in terms of communication, because we are online based. How do we communicate with our guests? How do we communicate with the allocated cleaners who are going to clean those apartments? How do we get feedback from the guests? And basically that's how now we've incorporated the technology, basically the WhatsApp technology, in just to assist us with the communication bit.
How can companies leverage technologies still to improve their efficiency, and also the customers, particularly the customers, to benefit a lot more?
The landscape these days looks different. When you look around at buildings in Kenya, majority of them have glassy exteriors, don't they? And a few years ago, people never used to have to clean glass exteriors. Now you have to understand what machinery do you use to be able to make the lives of our clients easier, to make the facade of their building beautiful. If a factory needs to be cleaned from end to end and they only have one day when people are not working, how can I most efficiently do that when maybe 20 years ago I could only use scrubbing machines, but now I have high power, almost driving scrubbing machines that can be used for the same. So being able to understand, as I mentioned earlier when it comes to landscape, what is needed and how can you leverage the technology now, which is vast, to be able to help you reach your goals more efficiently, as Paul mentioned, and more effectively, isn't it?
Of course, one of the challenges that we might be facing when it comes to technology and end user is, of course, the computer literacy. Yeah, you find that that's been quite a challenge in the current industry. Not everyone. You find a worker who's very good, but again, he's not computer. The literacy is not there in terms of technology. How do you train that person from scratch? Because now you have to hold this person like a small baby to walk them through the computer literacy bit, for you to be able now to even start teaching them the technology that has been introduced into the market. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we might be facing in terms of computer literacy, and now incorporating all this into having the proper trainings set up for this person, for him to be able to use this product effectively.
Sometimes Google is actually going to give you the answers, right? Enabling you to understand, even if it's the most basic, before you're able to get someone to come into the room and do the training for you. I'd also like to speak a bit on the local companies that provide this equipment. For example, I'm sure with Henson, you can call your suppliers. I feel like sometimes people feel shy, like you want to purchase and sit back and feel like you need to understand the usage. You don't. You can call them and tell them, please come in and run a training session for all our teams who will be utilizing this machinery, to ensure that we understand understand how to fill in the tank for the machine, how to utilize it, how to understand power surges and how that might affect the machine. From the nitty-gritties to the questions, sometimes because maybe as a founder or as a C-suite director, you're not really understanding the struggles that the person who's handling the machine on a day-to-day basis is going through. But bringing in a trainer to talk to them directly opens up your eyes to things that you may not have asked for, but they are more aware of because they are the ones who are in daily usage of.
What I've come to learn over the years is a lot of people just want the simple things done in an exceptional way. And you might find, say, a client who called you to even mow a lawn. Some people mow the lawn and leave it at that, but someone can go beyond and even do the skirting. You can even go ahead and do some pruning of the trees. So that aspect of going above and beyond what the client has actually asked you to do is what gives that essence of reliability.
You need to be able to cost accordingly. Because if you undercost, it means you under-deliver.
Yeah.
So regardless of whether you think the customer is going to think you're expensive, you need to cost accordingly, take into account the square footage.
Yeah.
That helps you understand the amount of detergents you're going to utilize. You then have to have a good understanding for how you're going to be cleaning those surfaces. So you need to, complement the detergents with the necessary accessories and the machines. Then I would say the most important thing is training, because the cleaning operative is actually the product you're selling.
Yeah. I think also from Lorenzo Dry Cleaners, also, what are some of the gaps that you've identified being at the outsourcing service sector?
Okay, I would say labor legal laws have really stalled the process of having people outsource it.
Yeah.
So the other thing you realize is that people who are looking to outsource don't have the knowledge of who are the right providers in the market. So having forums like these where we get to interact, get to know who is the professional in this industry, what is it that they offer, also understanding what your need is. Because as opposed to how we are all seated here, everyone is looking at this session from their own understanding. So you really need to understand what your need is and have to understand who's the expert in that area.
Yeah.
So we kind of really narrow it down to lack of knowledge, and we're very open to interact with people in such forums so that you understand who really plugs in into where your gap is.
Yeah.
First of all, once you've understood what the need is, be it's industrial, commercial, domestic,
yes,
it's now coming down to understanding if they had a service provider before, what did this person fail in? And once you understand what they failed in, then you know where you should not fail in yourself. So, for example, if it's a bank, maybe there were integrity issues, for example, that can be one of the things that maybe terminated the contract of someone else. So maybe you make sure that your people are well trained, you keep rehearsing it into their minds that when you go into this place, just remember this is what you need to do. If it's an issue of maybe, as my brother said, surfaces, not understanding what detergents are being applied where, what tools are being employed to do certain tasks, you have to make sure that this person is going to get the quality that they require. So the different types of contracts, for example, that you seek with clients, you have the private contracts and then you have the government contracts. So both clients you approach differently. Government is more standard. They have a set system of procuring the services, whereas with a private client, it's at your discretion. So you can go, if you're doing a site visit at their home or establishment, you can go and see that, okay, so they actually require these services. So the vetting process is purely discretional on what you feel you can offer to them as a service.
I'm just wondering, because this is one of the fastest growing sectors, if you ask me. And I wonder whether the government, the policies that the government has been putting in place so far since time immemorial, do you feel like this sector has been factored in? I think I'll take a note for all of you. Let's start with you, Tyria. How do you look at the policies so far? Do you think it has favored? Are there even policies governing this sector?
Yes, so the one thing that we as companies that are within the industry need to be cognizant of is people are not yet looking at cleaning as a profession, right? So currently what we need to be doing is setting that standard. And slowly as we go along, and surely, eventually you can even approach the government.
Yes.
Anyone who does government tenders will tell you that the gaps are vast, but it's a deep-rooted issue because the laws that govern procurement, first of all, talk of the lowest evaluated bidder. So the adjustment of that law, lowest evaluated bidder, is our biggest problem in terms of getting contracts, and that's what brings the undercutting. So you know that last year someone bid, say, 2 million per month for this particular contract. So this year I'm going to bid 1.8. But you're not taking factors of, inflation, operational cost. Fuel is almost doubled since 2-3 years ago. You have other things like NSSF, which has also doubled over the last few, months. So the problem really needs to start from a parliamentary stand where they say that, you know what, it's not lowest evaluated, it's actually something to the effect that what makes economic sense for service delivery at a high quality level, and something that will also be reasonable in terms of expenditure through government.
That last submission by Joseph Mwaniki marked the end of the two-day East Africa Clean Summit 2023. Visitors to the expo and summit attendees had a great day of knowledge acquisition they believe would go a long way in helping prop their interests in the cleaning industry. We captured a handful of thoughts from the visitors at the event, and these were some of their candid sentiments.
There's so many things that I've learned of the 2 days, and most importantly today, it spoke so much on commercial cleaning, which is what I've majored in, from Doreen, who's in One Way, and also from Superbroom, which they have extensively answered some of the questions that I've had, especially in sealing deals, in what I can do to stand out as a business in this in stiff competition that has been around. I really appreciate the organizers for doing this, because it has been, I've heard about it this year in one of the social handles, which I'm so excited, and I'm really grateful for. I can't wait for the next year to experience this. Even for the exhibitors that I've seen a machine that has that can do upholstery cleaning, powered up. It can dispense shampoo and water. It's steam. It has steam. Imagine that. And it has really made me excited because of the things, the new innovative things that I've seen. Also laundry. I was speaking to some of my few friends that we actually met here, and they're really excited about carpet cleaning. Some have been excited about opening up laundromats, which actually I never thought about. So there's so much that people can learn from. There's so much that people can see. There's so much that people can identify in coming to this forum, exchanging notes, being mentored by most of the ladies. Actually, do you know that most of the people who are running businesses in the cleaning industry are women?
The purpose and the intentions of coming to this East Africa Clean Summit is I wanted to get some questions answered, and I'm privileged and honored that I have received what I needed. I think one of the most important things that I've learned today is on the need to innovate. And one of the speakers here mentioned about 3 levels of innovations, which I want that to be a take-home for me. And I find that in tandem with what our signature line for TSG Hospitality stands for, as trend-setting excellence. We need to have progressive innovations, and at the end of it all, there might be a need to do and undertake disruptive innovation.
It has been a very, very informative session. We have learned so much. The delegates have been really challenged. They have had great opportunities of interaction, and the general overview has been very amazing. From topical issues from cleanliness to how germs and bacteria is cross-transferred, and there is that cross-contamination and how to prevent that. It has been a very, very invigorating moment of discussion. The panelists have been amazing. We've had very good moderators, and kudos to our chief guest who has given a very, very good speech on how the standards of the cleaning industry needs to be, and to what capacity and what level. We've had international companies coming in and giving a very good feedback on the Kenyan market. The clean industry in Kenya is up there. So I encourage you to be part of the Clean Expo, to be part of the Clean Summit, be part of the discussion. Follow the conversation and be part of this, because it opens up a whole avenue of discussion and innovation and creation for the industry.
My name's Arfiligona Auma. I'm coming from Vihiga County, and I run a company which is called Professional Property Care Kenya Limited. Although it's based in South Sudan, where I worked for 3 years. Since the year 2009, after the country gained independence, and I was called there as an expatriate. I really appreciate the sharing that we had from the panel. I really appreciate the sharing, which is not new to me, the expertise that we shared, that the panelists shared with us. It was very brilliant. The innovation that have come up within the industry. When we consider the equipments, the machinery, the detergents, and also the building up of the staffs, training, which is very crucial. This expo has given me an eye-opener of innovations, meeting people who have been coming up with new machines, new detergents, new equipments, which some of them I'd never used within the industry. But it has really been an eye-opener for me on the ground, meeting expatriates and experts in the industry. So what have come up, what I've gained from the panelists and the sharing that they had was that they have added value into my life, which I'm also able to give back to the community and to the industry.
It is a high time that we really need to look into infection and prevention control as we do this cleaning, whichever aspect, maybe in the hotel, maybe in the hospitals, maybe at home. As we do the cleaning, then we need to take it to a level that we are thinking about infection and prevention control. What I really got strongly and the big challenge that I got was from that guy from Havana Dry Cleaners in the US, who spoke, and he was asking a question, but as he spoke, you could feel like we are still some miles away to get where we are supposed to be. I could hear him say, go to a place and you find people cleaning, and as they clean, maybe they're using mobs, the cotton kind of mobs, and that is almost like getting outdated. And I can remember him saying that we need to get to a place where we can use the microbial kind of material for mopping, which I'm hoping that maybe with time, even after this summit, now people are going to be challenged so that we can get to a place where we can now engage and get to realize that we need to go that direction.
Hello, my name is Andrea Garoia. I'm a export sales manager for my company named Jensen Group. Jensen is the world leading manufacturer for heavy-duty laundry machines. We have a factory based in Europe, and my job is, as being an export sales manager, to cover the needs and develop also distribution network for my products in African market. So I traveled from Italy. I came on Tuesday. It was the first time for me that I came to Kenya. It was a nice opportunity to visit Nairobi, this exhibition for the cleaning products. I participated to the seminars on the 2 days. I was mostly interested into the second day, which was more about the laundry and of course the hospitality subjects. And it was very interesting to meet local companies here that are distributing laundry and cleaning solutions in the market.
Being able to come on the third year and be a speaker, have a spotlight opportunity to speak about scaling and starting enterprise cleaning businesses, being able to be on a panel with my peers and discussing emerging technologies has been such a privilege for one. Thank you for offering me that opportunity and seeing something in me that was worthy of inviting. It's been such a learning experience as well, not only from my fellow panelists, but from the moderators, from other Keylight speakers, from the audience and hearing their perspectives, from listening to different people in the business environment that we work in, which is cleaning and sanitation, speak about the challenges they are facing and realizing that we're together. So giving us this opportunity to also speak about what we could do to be stronger in our unity as different organizations, figure out the way forward. Please keep doing this. Please keep on challenging us, giving us opportunities to meet and talk, and keeping us top of mind as well, because I think sometimes it can be a forgotten trade to be in the business that we are in, but giving us opportunities to shine the light on our business, even though sometimes we work in the shadows and in the dark where we don't want to interfere with regular work. We want to clean in the background and everything, giving us the opportunity to be in a spotlight situation and have our needs and our wants heard. Thank you for that, and I can't wait for the next one.
As one of the speakers of the Expo, of the Clean Expo Summit, I found that this was a very interactive session where we got to discuss multiple things that are pertinent to the industry. A few of them that were brought up were issues of policies that need to be set out by government in order for us to have regulated operations in the industry. We got to find out about innovative ways of simplifying and enhancing our processes, which is very important in enabling us to basically save on costs and to be able to have a slight marginal advantage over our competitors. The networking forum that we've had here is quite elaborative, and we've come to see that we don't need to be competitors, but we can just be partners in this industry, and there's a slice of cake for everyone. So we look for the next one.
Currently I work with the Nairobi Hospital. I'm the head of operations and have been an housekeeper by profession, and I have passion for cleanliness. I'm glad to be here in the 2023 Clean Expo, the East Africa Summit, and to be part of it. I'm also the chairperson of Heads of Housekeeping Professionals of Kenya, and have been with them working this journey, encouraging new members, new registration, and also encouraging participation in our workshops, training sessions that we've had, our meetings to exchange ideas. So we are partnered with this organization so that together we can walk the journey. I am excited for those of us who have found time to be here this year for the exchange of ideas, for networking, to learn new things, better ways, and newer ways, and also the enrichment of our various business entities.